see me?
Yes.
It's been a while when I was using Zoom, to be honest, we're on Teams, so
We make sure that we refresh your mind once per year.
it's an alien technology for me. No?
Don't say this to us. We've been on Zoom nonstop for 2 weeks.
I can imagine, yeah. Can I quickly test something with you, if it's okay? But I need to be sharing, right?
Yes, you can share. Yes, yes. I wait a second, but I think you can share, right? Yeah, you're allowed to share.
Share. Okay. Is it better to share this?
Normally, I tend to share my screen because otherwise, sometimes it should change. Yeah, I can see your screen.
Uh,
Yeah.
and now you can see the presentation, right?
Yes,
Not my
yes,
notes.
absolutely.
Okay, cool.
In this course, we've had so far lots of rugby guys, but now we can see that we also have people doing karate.
Yeah.
I call the rugby ball and the rugby guys the point spread function.
One spread function. Because of the
Yeah.
shoulders.
So, with the rings, if you focus on it, then it looks like a rugby guy with his hands up.
Okay, yeah.
But actually, we wait a little more minute.
So I have 25 minutes, right?
Yeah, with the questions, yeah, then we can have 5 minutes questions. Yeah, so that would be 25 plus 5, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Great, wonderful. So, but I can see that we're that 1 minute short. So, and Gabi, yes, Gabi's recording as well.
So you start recording.
Yes, no, Gabi is recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you see my presentation.
Yes,
You
we
hope
hear
to
you
see. I
well.
don't see doesn't matter.
You do not see your presentation.
No, I can see my presentation. I don't see myself, but that's okay.
Okay, maybe I can pin you for everyone. Can you see yourself now?
No, I see only you for some reason.
Oh,
Anyway, not
sorry.
maybe some setting which appeared. Okay, just let me know. Um,
Okay, but I think now we're going to start. And so Andriy Rogov is a product specialist at Nikon Instrument Europe, and he's very kind, and he's going to talk to us about AI today.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, my name is Andriy. Thanks, Sylvie, for inviting me second time. It's always a pleasure to talk about AI tools and our software. And this morning, I will be talking about how Nikon approaches AI and which foundations do we use when we build our software for the best use of the AI in application in microscopy for image acquisitions and image analysis. I want to start my presentation with talking about basics and fundamentals. Why do I think that when we talk about AI, it's super critical to have a very strong grasp on fundamentals? When I have time and chance, I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's a form of wrestling, and it's extremely technical and deep martial art. And there is a huge difference between techniques, which you do as a beginner or as an advanced practitioner. And that's why I really like this quote. It's from Roger Gracie, one of the legends of the sport, that there are no black belt techniques. There are only basic techniques done at a black belt level. And in terms of AI, I think it's super critical. First, because AI is changing super quickly. And as we are all aware, I'm pretty sure you follow the news. And the second part, because AI by design is obscure and complicated. It is a black box. We'll talk about a bit later. but it's not a bug, it's a feature of the technology that at some point you just stop on understanding what's happening. So that's why at least having a good understanding at the beginning helps a lot to use the AI efficiently and in the correct way. So which basic concepts I will touch in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So this is a number of terminology. For some of you, it may look intimidating. Some of you may know all of them already. I promise you that in 10 minutes, you will know every single term in this list. So first, let's literally build an AI model with pen and paper. And we will use a neuron model to create a simple decision-making system whether we want to go to the cinema tomorrow evening or not. And let's say we have 3 input criteria, 3 tickets. Is it an action movie or not? And is it a 3D movie? And we weigh them at the same weight, so 1 for each of them. So they are all equally important for us. And this is let's say, the situation that the only important part about the movie tomorrow is that it's a 3D movie. Everything else is absent. So we have inputs as 0, 0, and 1. And we can use this decision function, activation function, as it's called, to calculate whether we go to the cinema or not. So it's just basically take an input, multiply it by the weight, and subtract some threshold, which is 1. And in our case, for this system, the answer will be 0. So no, we don't go to the cinema. Here we already introduced a few important concepts of AI. First one is input layer, so all input parameters, and then the output layer. So this is the final decision that we use. And you will see this logic is super common, that there is some input, then there is some computation inside, and then there is an output after that. Let's say we didn't go to the movie because we decided not to, but the movie was really amazing. The 3D technology is great. We missed out. So we are unhappy with that. What we can do with this system? We can override our output and we can say that, you know what, in this situation, the answer should be yes. And what we did here, we labeled our training data set. So it is called now labeled training data. And our correct response is also can be called ground truth, as it's called in the AI. And the input layer stays the same. So now we need to do something with our system. We need to change it. We need to push it to learn. And because we push it, so we supervise it, it is called supervised learning. So again, 3 new concepts: ground truth, correct answer, label training data set, and supervised learning. So we change our weights, we decrease the weights for the 3 tickets, and we increase for the 3D movie. And now with these new weights, we use the same activation function. And now the answer is yes. So we will be happy next time we go into the 3D movie and it will be awesome. Here, the important part, we did a learning iteration or epoch, learning epoch 1. This is the important detail about, in terms of terminology from this slide. Now, moving forward, we can see that so far it was super simple, just 3 inputs. What happens if we have many inputs? And here we want to decide whether we want to take a Friday off next week. It's not really clear how knowing that it will be a sunny Friday and I have 3 tickets to the cinema will help me or not. And if it's not clear for us, for the neural network, it will be difficult as well. So in this situation, we need to introduce what is called a hidden layer. So some internal intermediate logic step, which helps us to make a decision. And you can see that we can group first three inputs as go to the cinema as before, and second group we can group together as football, and now the decision is clear. If we can play football with friends and go to the cinema, we can take the Friday off. So this is the hidden layer. If we now go forward, I will use a very nice website, TensorFlow Playground. So this is a professional Python AI library, and they created a very nice demonstration to practicing AI. I don't have time to go really deeply into the details, but what is important, we will see a number of epochs or training iterations and output and training loss. And we can see this group of points that we need to distinguish, yellow or blue ones. So now if I start my screencast, so here the goal is to create a neural network which can create a geometrical shape to distinguish yellow points from blue points. And we can have different layers and different neurons. And we have different data sets with different complexity. So let's start with the simplest data set, just two clouds. And we have two coordinates, x1 and x2, which is just a vertical and horizontal line. No hidden layers. And if we start training, you can see that our training loss going really down very quickly. And we found our shape to distinguish blue dots from yellow dots. It's very easy just in 3 iterations. And we really can see what's happening. We combine vertical and horizontal lines. Now let's try to do it on this data set. What we can see, our training is going on, but our training loss is stuck on quite high value, 0.5, and nothing is happening. It does mean that our design of the network is inadequate. We need to add more hidden layers to increase the logic to be more precise. So here we added one hidden layer with 2 neurons, and we can see that, okay, it is better. We distinguish the points better, but still not good enough. So we can increase our logic sophistication even more by adding another neuron. So now we have 3 neurons. And now you can see, okay, this looks almost perfect. The shape is not very nice. It's kind of rectangular, but we do detect all of our blue dots. We can change the activation function and fine-tune our shape. So you can see there are a lot of parameters we can play with, even in this like simple geometrical use case, to understand how we need to design our network. So this is a new data set, even more complicated. And you can see that here we do struggle with our current design. If we add another neuron, okay, now it's getting better. So you can see that the more and more complex is our data, the more and more complex is the design of our network. We need to match this complexity. And you will see that at some point, we will stop to understand what each neuron is actually doing. So this is the most complex data set with the spirals. And I designed this network with 4 hidden layers and many neurons. And it will arrive there eventually. However, we can see a few things already. It takes time. So we will hit almost 1,000 iterations. Our training sometimes goes up and down in terms of training loss. And If we look at the shape which is shown by the hidden layer 3 and 4, we really stop understanding what it is doing, why this shape is proposed by this neuron. And that's why we talk about AI, very efficient ones, as black boxes. So we hit almost 1,000 iterations. And now if we check each shape from each neuron, they're quite complex. Like we cannot see how this shape will exactly be combined together to cover our label training dataset. So yeah, you can see it's really sometimes very unclear why the training AI chose this shape to combine together. So from this slide, a few points. We have seen that, okay, for a complex training dataset, we need about 1,000 iterations. We have seen the training loss graph, how it goes down. And now we can see that, yeah, at some point we lose understanding of our AI network. It does become a black box. So now, when we have these basics and understanding what's important when we use AI, I will present how at Nikon we approach AI toolbox. So at Nikon, we cover the full range of microscopy pipeline from image acquisition, improving the images, their quality, and then image analysis and the extracting of the data that we can get a meaningful result. And you can see two types of networks that we have. In yellow are Nikon pre-trained. So when you get them, you can immediately use them. No training required. And in green, user training is required. It's where you can fine-tune the network for your needs for the maximum result and efficiency of your dataset. So this is an overview, and let me now go one by one through each of them to briefly explain what they can do for you. So we start with acquisition of the AI, and this is our latest product. This is kind of a box microscope, Nikon GI, and it uses AI in many places. I just wanted to highlight one for the fast autofocus in bright field, because it uses inference. So it acquires only a few planes in Z, and then it can predict where the focus will be. So it allows to focus in bright field very quickly, a few seconds for a few hundreds of microns to find the focus. And it allows to very quickly scan a well plate in bright field in cells. So to save time and no need in fluorescence or bleaching autofocus-based techniques. Also, after this autofocus, what is important that we can use another AI network, cells localization AI, to detect and count our cells. So to be honest, I really struggle to see where the cells are on the image on the left, because by eyes it's difficult to see. That's why AI network comes to help. It can highlight my cells and do some analysis on them directly already. Another AI network which is super useful during the acquisition is AutoSignal. You just press one button and the system will find the parameters of the excitation, DAPI in this example, and say 3, and also the parameters of the camera, the exposure time. Then we move towards improving of the images. So this is the denoise AI. This is pre-trained network, which was trained for long time on the supercomputer to remove shot-to-shot noise. And it is included in all of our systems, free of use, free to use. Then Clarify AI, so it removes autofocus blur. It gives similar effect as a confocal microscope without needing to have a confocal microscope hardware. Self-localization AI, I mentioned briefly before. So you can go from the bright field image to cell center binary mask for detection of the centers and cell count. So again, bright field, no staining needed, and you can get a cell count. Another module is Enhance AI. So it allows us to train a network, which then will improve signal to noise. So it will go from low signal image to high signal image. So again, coming to this idea of input layer and output layer, here the input layer is the low quality image and output layer will be high quality. Convert AI, it can predict a channel from another channel. So here we have cell cytoplasm in GFP in green, and Convert AI can predict where nuclei will be. It allows us to get a kind of a two-color image, acquiring only one color, so less staining and less UV excitation, which normally we use for DAPI detection. So less phototoxicity and less bleaching. Of course, we can use AI for segmentation as well. And here you can see segmentation in bright field of cells. Here it's, as I mentioned before, this technique supervised learning, where we label our training data set, train our AI network, and then can quickly use and launch it. We also have the same network for the nuclei, which detects different objects better. And also we support partial annotation. So here you can see a tissue where only parts of the image has been annotated, network trained, and then network has been launched on the full tissue. And this work has been done by our colleagues from the Nikon Bioimaging Lab in Leiden. And this is another example of the segmentation of the neurons from our confocal super resolution system, AX and Spark. So they have been acquired there and then segmented with a segment AI. I have covered tools. You have seen that we have many of them. So the functionality of the microscopy is covered very nicely. What about usage? And here there is a short screencast just to demonstrate you how easy it is to train and use the AI. So here we have our training data set for the Enhance AI with high signal to noise image and low signal to noise image. First, we want to train our data set. We just go to the menu, train Enhance AI. We have our training data set image, and we have our available channels. So we just drag and drop which one is a source AI channel and which one is ground truth. 1000 iterations is a good starting point to get the best quality. And we specify where we save the resulting file of our trained network. Just press OK. And now you can see a graph with the training loss. So very similar idea that we have seen with the TensorFlow playground. Our training starts, it runs on the GPU for the maximum efficiency, and we will see how the training loss goes down with time. So here I show just a few iterations because normally it takes maybe an hour or a few hours to go fully through 1000 iterations. Let me just speed forward a bit. So now I just here press finish. Let's say our training finished, how we can use this AI network. Now we open a test file, so validation dataset. Again, with real high signal to noise images and low signal to noise. We go to Enhance AI. we specify on which channel we want to launch our train network. We just open our train network, and we will create, as you can see in a second or so, a new predicted high signal channel. So this is our new channel. I will just change its color so we can see it and compare better. So this is real signal to noise channel, and this is predicted high signal to noise channel. And this was our input. So we went from this data input, you can see it's pretty noisy, to this enhanced by AI signal to noise image. And you can see that setup of the training and use of this enhanced AI tool takes less than 5 to 10 minutes. So it's super easy to use. In summary, we have seen some important AI basic concepts. And again, I believe they are super important to understand because of then we can efficiently use of AI tools in any application, and particularly in microscopy. And we have seen all of our tools that we use at Nikon for the microscopy pipeline, from image acquisition, improving of the images, and then image analysis and extracting of the data. And a small detail, of course, these tools are fully integrated in our environment, which is NIS-Elements, particularly modules like jobs for image acquisition, where you can create your custom experiments, and our image analysis module GA3. So you have a full flexibility of creating your custom image acquisition workflow to use the fully hardware that you have, and have a flexible image analysis workflow and include AI tools inside. Thank you for your attention, and wish you a nice journey with AI technology.
Thank you very much, Andre. It's always very nice. I like the way you present AI. It makes it look very simple, which is nice. But I think in AI, like everything else, if there are a few concepts that we understand, like training in the ground truth, then suddenly things become much clearer. So, please, you guys, do you have any questions or comments about this? Has anyone used AI so far? Yes, Maria?
No. I just clicked raise hand by mistake. Sorry.
No problem. So I tried. Yeah, Chen, go for it.
Yes. Basically, I use AI for both sequencing data. I use it for RNA-seq and single-cell RNA-seq data to make some predictions. But I also use that for image analysis. It's like some cell pose. Maybe you heard about that. Cell pose and 3D segmentation. I use that to analyze my data. Uh, I have a question. Yeah, for example, the Nikon software, it already have integrated AI systems. So can we use can we train the model already inside it? For example, I have a standard image. I want to make my other pictures look like that. So can I train the model already integrated in software?
But what do you want to? What do you mean? I want to have an image looks like a reference image in which
Uh, yeah, for example, if I have a standard image which has defined like resolution and the signal to noise ratio. Uh, so I want to transfer the parameters of these images to the other images. So can I treat the software with this image and then I change the parameters of the other images?
So I showed this enhanced AI. So there you can transform the signal to noise. So that's definitely we can do. You can use your reference image as the ground truth. For the other parameters, we can use our general analysis 3 module, like if you want to convert pixel size, for example, because then it's just a simple mathematical operation. So we can use the image analysis techniques to adjust some parameters and then use enhance AI or convert AI, for example, as a reference images to either change your image or predict a new one.
Yes, thank you. Another question is about when we use AI tools to edit our images, so which degree is acceptable? Because when we use AI, we create some artifacts on our images. We remove some noises. We maybe increase the signal. So how acceptable in general for science for scientific publication?
Yes, that's why I have a few backup slides. It's a very important subject. It is kind of a problem. However, to be honest, I remember in my PhD in physics, sometimes you create a new tool just for your experiment, and you always need to have a verification step. When you have a custom built hardware for your experiment, which exists only in your lab, first you need to prove for the reviewers during the publication that you verified your measurement equipment actually first. And here, I think we can treat AI at the same way. Let's say we don't know exactly how it works, but first we just can verify what it is doing actually. We can run some verification tests. And we have some possibilities inside of our software. Here, for example, you can see line profile. So if we use the noise AI and we're not sure whether we introduce artifacts, we can show quantitative data, the pixel values, and we can compare and we can see what is happening. Because to be honest, like even if you create a complex image denoising workflow, and you combine like smoothing, Gaussian filters, and so on and so forth, at some point it's also not clear what it is doing, and maybe it is introducing artifacts. So you need to introduce a verification step. So I think in microscopy, we have been changing imaging for a long time. I mean, even deconvolution can introduce artifacts, right? And it's
Yeah.
established techniques. We just need to be careful and always use verification.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
So basically, you need to work on convincing yourself and get all the
others.
arguments and get one of your friends to say, okay, you're going to be the devil and ask me all the questions so that I can answer everything. And then once you have managed to convince everyone, then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same thing as opening your eyes to the background. Just if you see anything abnormal, don't ignore it, just address it. That's important. And I want to say before we finish that I think that a lot of you maybe have used AI already, because many of you use the automated way to set the microscope. Click on that button and then, whatever happens. And the only problem I have with that is that you do not check. So you do not do this verification step. So be very critical with these automated settings. It's not because they are in the software that they are working for you. So it's very good to use them, but then you must check that what they do is correct, right? Setting the microscope settings for you. Thank you very much, Andrei. And we're going to take a 10 minutes break.